So the first project we'll highlight is the intake that's being constructed at the Etowah River site, where our focus right now is the deep foundation that's going to be the base of the wet well where the pumps will be located. We've had a bit of a challenge over the past couple of months. As you know, we've had a lot of rain that occurs, and when that happens, Allatoona does regular releases. It's at a full level, so when we get a lot of rain or anticipate a lot of rain, they let a lot of water downstream. And when that happens, the river can come out of its banks, and was playing a little bit of havoc with our ongoing pile installation. So originally the contractor was planning on doing the piles in a dry condition. They had excavated the shaft of the wet well down, and their initial plan was to have a dried in condition to install those piles, which extend 140 feet below the bottom of that slab. However, the ever increasing frequency of the river coming out of its banks created an issue where they were continuously being delayed. So they changed configuration to where they can install those piles in a wet condition, and they're moving forward, and so now there's not any impact associated with those conditions. So they've got about 50% of the deep foundation piles that are in place now, and they're on schedule to get the rest of those in place over the next month or so. Once that's done, they can pour the base slab, and everything will essentially be dried in, and it'll allow them to come up above the working surface. They're also working on the electrical building. That's a separate structure that it's obviously at a higher elevation, so they're on track with that work as well. A lot of activity at the water treatment plant. All of the structures are well under construction. This is a recent aerial from the site there. You can see the roofs are on most of the facilities. The large clear well tank is now in place. All of the underground piping and electrical work is in place, and they're finishing work up on all of the various structures. Within the interiors of the buildings, they're doing framing, ductwork, and piping installation. They've completed about 95% of the overall concrete work that's associated with the water treatment plant, and have completed all of the hydraulic testing of the filters in the various buildings, various basins. They finalized the installation of the granular activated carbon, which is one of the final treatment process steps. And Greystone, who's providing the power to the site, they've installed the major runs coming off of 61, and they've actually energized their transformers. So now as PC Construction, the contractor, finalizes the installation of all the equipment, they can do all the startup and test out from an electrical and controls perspective. The large clear well was also completed recently. That's a large 6 million gallon domed tank that will hold all of the water once it's treated, and it holds it to get pumped down into Dallas here. And they're completing final grading around the site as well. So this was a major milestone for PC Construction being done with this tank. It also passed all the leakage tests that were required. They've also been focusing on the reservoir intake. If you recall the last update, they had put that bridge across, and now they've poured that top slab and are actually working on the framing for the structure. So they've installed various control valves that will be connected to the pumps, and they've put the exterior steel framing for the upper pump station building, and they're getting ready for the architectural precast panels that will come in to be able to finish off that facility. And they've begun the pipeline installation that will convey the water from the reservoir here up to the water treatment plant for treatment. It's been a tremendous amount of work at the dam, and here you can see, let's see if I can get an arrow here. Oops, sorry. Get a pointer, no. But in the center of the picture there, you can actually see the base of the dam starting to come up. It's been elevated to a depth or a height of approximately 60 feet from the lowest portion of where the dam is located, and there'll be an additional 60 feet of backfill that occurs as well. So right now the dam is about mid height, and they are starting the final critical process, that is installation of the slurry cutoff wall. And these are some of the large pieces of equipment that are used to cut down into the center core of the dam and place a continuous concrete curtain. If you recall, there's a grout injection that took place that goes 80 feet below the dam, and then they're installing these panels that are also about 80 feet deep that go down into the center core of the dam. You can see the large number of pieces of equipment that are currently engaged by Brad Cole Construction on the earth fill that's taking place. And it's a fascinating place to be right now. There's a lot of activity, and on a daily basis you can see things change around you. So it's very exciting. The Phase 1 finished water pipeline project is continuing to make a lot of progress. They've completed 10 of 23 different bores that have to take place under roads and under creeks. They're working on a major one right now on Pumpkin Vine Creek, so that's a focus point for them right now. And they've installed about 20,000 feet of the 56,000 that's part of this contract. So they're over a third of the way done with overall construction. And they're beginning work on the second phase pipeline as well. That notice to proceed is being issued. So once again, those of you that travel along 61, you recognize that there's regular lane closures that take place. We want to thank the public for their consideration during this period. These closures protect the public as well as the working contractors. The closures happen during the daytime, and they try and minimize the wait time to 3 to 4 minutes during a lane closure. So we ask again, please drive safely and slowly around these construction periods. And if you want to get regular updates on where the actual shutdowns are taking place or lane closures are taking place, there's an RCR Water Facebook page where that's posted on a regular basis. So overall, all of the contracts are going well. A lot of great construction activity taking place. The rain can slow us down at times, but overall, we still anticipate meeting the schedule and having water coming directly from Richland Creek Reservoir by 2020.